It's boy Mark K. Smith, also known as AKIS, also known as Coolest Guy in Sports, whatever you want to call me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. First playoff game for the Indiana Fever and the first playoff game for Caitlin Clark. Well, unfortunately, when you watch enough basketball as I have watched in my career and analyzing games and understanding that playoffs are all about matchups. And unfortunately, I was what I was afraid was going to potentially happen kind of happened in this game. And it's unfortunate because the Connecticut, they're just really, really, really good. And they have the defenders that can defend Caitlin Clark at a high level. And they have players that have playoff experience. And you're going against a young Indiana Fever team that's never been to the playoffs before. All their players have really never had any playoff experience. And now you're going into a game where you're playing a veteran team that has a lot of experience and has a lot of chemistry of knowing what it takes and knowing the difference between a regular season and the postseason. And when we look at this game with the Indiana Fever versus the Connecticut Sun, all year I've been saying about if the Indiana Fever can play the way they want to play, they will be victorious because they play with a lot of pace. But they struggled to play in the half court. It was a lot of times in this game where Caitlin Clark was staying on the perimeter when she didn't have the ball. It was a lot of times in this game where the Indiana Fever did not know what they were doing when the ball was in the half court. And I always was saying, like, throughout the regular season, you have to incorporate Aaliyah Boston in the half court. So come the playoffs, when the game slows down, you will know how to operate and you will have a different offensive kind of strategy or a different look offensively than you have in a regular season. Because what happens when you don't play? What happens when the defense does not allow you to play the type of game you want to play? You're going to struggle. And that's what we saw with the Indiana Fever. We saw a team that's very one-dimensional, a team that's not as athletic as the Connecticut Sun, and we saw a team that when their offense and their shot-making ability and their three-point shots aren't falling, they have nothing else to go to. And it really shouldn't be this way due to the fact that you have Aaliyah Boston – and you have a player that can operate in a post. And sometimes, as great as the pace and space is, the 7 seconds or less offense that the Indiana Fever have, their play style, I love it. But sometimes you got to play inside, outside. And a lot of times when you get stuck and when your three-point shots aren't working, do you have a player or can you go to the rim and can you get easy and open looks? And can you run sets for a player that can dominate in the post or in the in-between game when we talk about the second level of the basketball court? They have a player that they can operate through and run offense through in Aaliyah Boston, but the problem is they didn't do that during the regular season. The formula for success for the Indiana Fever has always been to outscore opponents. They're not a great defensive team, and in the first couple quarters, the game was very close, but the Indiana Fever was just missing shots. So they were playing their game, they were playing their play style, they were kind of getting after it up and down, and the Connecticut Sun was also playing that play style as well. But the problem is when we look at the Connecticut Sun is that they were playing the Indiana Fever's play style, but they were able to score in transition because the Indiana Fever don't have any transition defense. They struggle on the fast break. They struggle in the half court. Their defense is a big issue for the Indiana Fever. And when their shots aren't falling, like today, you see that they can really struggle in various different ways on the basketball court. And Caitlin Clark, I want people to understand that Caitlin Clark is a rookie. But Caitlin Clark is not, she's not just any rookie. She's the face of the league. So even her playing bad games, and even if it's her first playoff debut, it's still going to be overanalyzed. It's still going to be a lot of people that's going to talk shit on Twitter and on threads and then social media and stuff like that because they want to see her fail. But we have to call a spade a spade. She played horrible. She shot 4 for 17 and 2 for 13 from the three-point line. And as much as I love Caitlin Clark, She's still a rookie, and she's still going to develop, and she's got a long way to go with understanding that if my three-point shot isn't falling, I need to get and attack the basket. If my three-point shot isn't falling, I need to find easier looks in the in-between game and get to the second level of the basketball court. I need to get to my floater. If I can't get all the way to the rim, I need to get to my floater. And it's up to the coach to also put her into spots where Kelsey Mitchell is handling the ball and they're running Caitlin Clark off of pin downs and getting her easy open looks. Everything just can't be, even though Caitlin Clark is the best generator the WNBA has ever seen, everything can't just be three-point, layups, pass. And then if I don't have the ball in my hands, I'm sitting out on the perimeter and watching what's going on. That can't be. She has to develop in that aspect of her game, and she will develop in that aspect of the game. But you're not going to win any games where your two best players, the two best perimeter, the best backcourt in the WNBA, the most electrifying backcourt in the WNBA, and Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. You're not going to win too many games where both of your players shoot 4 for 23 for the three-point line. And we know they're the best three-point shooting team in the league. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark have made over 103, so only duo in the WNBA that had 103s made or more was between Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, but the three-point shot wasn't falling. And when your three-point shot isn't falling, you got to get to the basket. You got to get all the way to the rim. And Aaliyah Boston had a very efficient game. She was 8 for 14. That's what I was saying. You have to learn how to, if you don't have it, throw the ball in the low block, let Aaliyah Boston go to work, use Aaliyah Boston in the PNRs, use Aaliyah Boston going from, let her, use her body to front tail post players and let them throw the ball over the top. You have to figure out ways to incorporate Aaliyah Boston to get her going, especially if the game slows down and it's a half-court game. And then you look at the Connecticut Sun. Not only did the Connecticut Sun beat the Fever in their own type of game, when we talk about playing with pace and scoring, they also shot the ball tremendously better for the three-point line. Marina Mabrey, she got out of that toxic situation with Chicago Sky. She's one of the purest hoopers in this game. She's a bucket getter. She's not very fast. She doesn't have a twitchy game, but when it comes to scoring and knowing how to put the ball in the hoop, she is a bucket. She cooked the Indiana Fever this game, and she really got off. And it was just, she was unstoppable. She was unstoppable, and she started in the second half. She had 27 points, 5 for 12 from the three-point line. The difference between this game was the Indiana Fever shot 21% from the three-point line and 50% from the three was the Connecticut Sun. They beat the Indiana Fever in their own game. Brandon, not sure why she wasn't going for the mid-range for threes, wasn't falling, and Boston started out good but then disappeared. Brandon, I don't think Boston disappeared. That's up to the coaching staff. That's also up to Caitlin Clark to understand that Boston was starting out strong, but when you're a third option and when basically all your buckets aren't necessarily, there's no sets being ran for you. Like a big man, when you're a big man, guards have to get the big man the ball. So that's the coaching fault. That's Kelsey Mitchell's fault. That's Caitlin Clark's fault for not incorporating her more, especially when she had the high hand and they didn't have the high hand. So it's all about matchups and when it comes to the playoffs. And I said from the beginning of the last stream that I was nervous because I felt like if the Fever were going to win this series, they had to win game one. And in the first half, they played it close. They were right in it. It was a game that was winnable, but Caitlin Clark struggled tremendously, and that's the difference between them. That first half, her struggling in the first half and not getting it going in the first half. That's the difference between them having a chance to steal a game and them getting blown out, because we know Caitlin Clark is the engine for this team. But when your engine struggles, it's going to be hard for you to win in the playoffs. Charles Sneed, stop lying to Caitlin Clark. She's not the best in the game. Let her learn and develop. No one says she's the best in the game, Charles. Everybody knows A'ja Wilson is the best in the WNBA. It doesn't take a rocket science to understand that A'ja Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. Everybody knows that. She's eons above any player in the WNBA, unanimous MVP for a reason. But for all you haters that were talking about Caitlin Clark and all you haters that were a part of the media and a part of the hate train and were saying that Caitlin Clark was not going to come in and dominate as a rookie. Caitlin Clark was not going to be successful and she wasn't going to be one of the top players in the rookie because the game is too physical and all she does is shoot threes. Caitlin Clark led the league in 3 points made, led the league in assists, had a MVP caliber year as a rookie and finished fourth. I need Gino to step to the podium, the Connecticut head coach, because he said that the fan base and the people that think Caitlin Clark was going to come in and dominate, and that's disrespectful to some of the women in the WNBA, also said it was disrespectful because it was third and fourth MVP odds for the betting. And what did she finish? She finished fourth and had an argument really to finish third, in my opinion. I need you to step to the podium. I need Cheryl Swoops to step to the podium as well, because she talked about how Caitlin Clark was going to struggle and was not going to come in and set the league on fire like she did. Step to the podium. I need Gilbert Arenas to step to the podium because you and Cheryl Swoops was just saying last week that she's not dominating. She had the best rookie season of all time. I need a lot of people at ESPN to step to the podium because throughout the entire Caitlin Clark's rookie campaign, they were trying to say that Angel Reese was the rookie of the year due to team standings. When it's levels to greatness, and those players should never have even been compared from day one. When we talk about the brand of basketball, the game of basketball, what you do on the court, you're comparing an engine and a player that caught schemes to a player that didn't catch schemes. Please step to the court. Like it's crazy. So all the hate that Caitlin Clark received, top 4 MVP finish. What are you going to say now? And the truth of the matter is, Caitlin Clark, this rookie season, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, she's proved that she is the baby GOAT. Bye. That's what she's proven. She's proved that she's the baby GOAT this year. So I know people, the hate is going to be loud. The hate was loud. Even if they lose in this first round's matchup against Connecticut Sun, it's going to be even more loud because people want to see them lose and want to see her fail. But she's already proven that she is the baby GOAT. And put some respect on her name. And this game, this playoff series, I think it's over because I thought that in order for the Indiana Fever to win this series, they were going to have to win this first game. And now you saw a veteran team. Bonner got going. She was cooking. Dejanay Carrington, Alyssa Thomas almost had a triple-double. Like, they got real players that can ball. Maria Hooper, she gives the Connecticut Sun another offensive weapon, especially from the perimeter, which they lacked these years. Like, and they play defense. This was a terrible matchup for the Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever and Kelsey Mitchell, but it is what it is. The league doesn't want Caitlin Clark to see. She should pack it up and go overseas. Stop it. Nobody's going overseas, man. Worried about Caitlin Clark's eye. 94 had a serious eye-poking glaze. My vision swelled overnight. Missed the next games. I think she's good, man. Hopefully, like, they got the best medical staffs on the planet. I think she's going to be all right for us, her eye and things of that nature. But the bright side of this for us, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, is that they were missing a lot of makeable shots. So when we look at this game, and Caitlin Clark was horrible. I don't think she's going to play the way she played. I don't think she's going to play the way she played again. She was a minus 20 for his plus minus on the court. Like, that's the worst in this game. It was very, very bad. 4 for 17, 2 for 13 for the three-point line. That was tremendously horrific. I don't think she's going to play this bad. But they had makeable shots. And that's, if you're the Indiana Fever and you're watching film and you're going to go and do a deep dive, and they have till Wednesday, they're off till Wednesday. That's the next matchup. And they had makeable shots that I thought that were good looks that they were just flat out missing. Kelsey Mitchell was missing, and also Caitlin Clark was missing as well. Also, Lexi's going to have one of those games as well. She's going to have to give the Indiana Fever something. When she's scoring and has more than 8 points in a game, I think the Indiana Fever have won almost every matchup they played since she's kind of entered a rotation in the starting lineup. Like she has to give them more, and also she has to be ready to lock and load and let that thing go. Because as a Indiana Fever fan, if your big three is giving you everything, it still may not be enough in the playoffs. So if Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, they're all scoring 17 to 25 points in a game, and they're all combining for 60 to 70 points, which that's probably going to be the magic number. Like Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark will have to combine anywhere between 55 to 65 points for this Indiana Fever team to have a chance. You need Lexi Hall to give you something as well. She has to get you anywhere between that 8 to 13 point range, and she has to get you between 2 to 3 made threes a game to have a chance if you're going to play the play style that the Indiana Fever love to play, which is pace and space, 7 seconds or less. They gotta get contributions for everybody on the court in order to have a chance. Just another dude, she didn't shoot it well today. Maybe the eye poke factor could have been. CT getting down the eye took things off. I mean, a lot of people talk about the eye. I mean, I've seen Caitlin Clark play bad this season and shot not beyond, without her getting poked in the eye. I'm not saying that's not one of the reasons why she didn't play well, but we don't know. But she has till Wednesday. Hopefully she's good. If they lose on Wednesday, the only thing I can say is I had an awesome season and made the playoffs. Ivan, exactly. That's like this. What the Indiana Fever are playing with house money, and that's why they got to come in very loose for the next game on Wednesday because the pressure is on the Connecticut Sun. Once again, the Indiana Fever missed a lot of capable. They had a lot of open shots, and they missed a lot of capable shots that they could have made that really could have changed the outcome of this game. I don't believe that Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark are going to shoot 4 for 23 the next game. So going into this next game, you have a lot of confidence because it's a do or die situation for the Indiana Fever, but also the pressure is going to be on the Connecticut Sun because, one, they've been there before. Number two, they're expected to win. And number three, they don't want to go and lose this game and have to go play against Indiana Fever's home crowd. If you watch today's game, the Connecticut Sun, yes, they had home court advantage, but it was fans that were rooting for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. It still was more Connecticut Suns fans, but it was a lot of fans that were cheering and supporting and was groaning when the Indiana Fever were missing shots in this Connecticut arena. So if they win on Wednesday and they go and play at home, that pressure, that atmosphere, that 6-man that the Indiana Fever have is going to be something serious. I'm not saying they will lose because, once again, Connecticut Sun are veterans. They have a lot of playoff experience and chemistry, but it's a lot of pressure for the Connecticut Suns to win on Wednesday, and the Fever just got to come in loose because they played their worst game probably of the regular season. I mean, probably in this entire season. They did, at least for Caitlin Clark. But it's a lot of pressure that's going to be on the Connecticut Sun on Wednesday because they don't want to play the Indiana Fever at home. I don't think any team wants to play the Indiana Fever at home because of that atmosphere, because of that crowd and that energy. False nails really need to be banned. Nails, yeah. Kelsey Clark and Caitlin Mitchell going to spark it up next game. I hope so, man, because I don't see them shooting 4 for 23. I just don't see it from the three-point line. Like, these are some of the best three-point shooters this league has ever seen. And I think they're going to have a game. I don't think they're going to win because once I came in, I did my last stream. It was earlier today. I basically said if they don't win this game, I think they're going to lose. But I think it's going to be close. But once again, the pressure is on the Connecticut Sun because if you go back to Indiana and it's a do-or-die situation, it's only the best of 3. That momentum can help carry the Fever to a upset. Now, I picked the Fever to win before this series. I picked them to win because I thought they was going to win this game. So I'm still rolling with the Fever. I'm still rolling and picking them in the upset. But gosh, man, today's game was very nasty. 69 to 93. That's a ass kicking. They got punked. They punked them girls today. But who knows? We're going to see. The Indiana Fever have faced a lot of adversity. So Raquel Martinez, yes. So much adversity Fever facing. They have been here since 2006. No bench depth. We're nervous. Yeah, listen, though. One thing about this Indiana Fever team is that they've had a lot of adversity. They started 1-8. People were dissing and hating on Caitlin Clark before she even entered the WNBA. They had team chemistry issues for us, like players gravitating towards Caitlin Clark. And also Caitlin Clark had to learn how to trust her teammates because it was the first time in her career where she had teammates that are actually great players and great WNBA players, and learning that you don't have to do everything. Caitlin Clark had to learn that, as well as learn and understand the importance of being a generator at the NBA level, at the WNBA level compared to college. They came back from the All-Star break, the Olympic break, and they became one of the best teams and went on a run, became one of the best teams in the WNBA. They are capable of overcoming this loss and winning 2 in a row and going to the next round of playoffs because they've overcome adversity this entire season. And they believe that. And that's what the coach has to get out of them and kind of charge them up and be a motivator and let them know that just because we got our ass kicked today, on Wednesday, it's win or go home. But the Indiana Fever have been in win or go home basically since post-Olympic break, fighting for a playoff seed, fighting to get in the playoffs, fighting to, get to a higher seed. They've been in fight mode their entire regular season. So it's going to be fun to watch, man. Surprised Lexi was missing wide open points. She used to make something. Yeah, she does, man. She has to be more confident. She was a killer on the glass, on the boards, but she has to be more confident in her shot. I haven't even seen she played like this in playoff game in college, so I'm not sure she's just tired and banged up. We'll see, but it's your boy, Ma K. Smith, man. Make sure I go like, comment, and subscribe. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Appreciate y'all, man. And I'm gone, man. Peace.